By the time Elena realized the whispers weren't just in her head, it was too late to leave the room. The glass walls reflected her team, but with one extra shadow. A shadow that didn't belong to anyone there, and a presence that demanded something they didn't yet understand. The 33rd floor of Artec Industries was an anomaly. While the rest of the sleek corporate building thrummed with life and innovation, the 33rd floor stood in ominous silence. Few employees ever set foot there, and even fewer talked about it. Whispers of strange occurrence, unexplained malfunctions, and eerie late-night happenings surrounded the space. But Elena brushed them off as nothing more than office gossip. As a newly promoted project manager, she was determined to make her mark. Saving the company's floundering product launch was her chance, and if that meant pulling an all-nighter in the so-called haunted conference room, so be it. After all, she wasn't one to let superstitions dictate her career. Her team, 6 talented yet overworked individuals, reluctantly joined her. They filed into Conference Room Infinity, a high-tech space equipped with state-of-the-art touchscreens, interactive AI systems, and floor-to-ceiling glass walls that provided a breathtaking view of the city below. But no one commented on the room's cutting-edge design. Instead, they exchanged uneasy glances as if they could feel something was off. The brainstorming session started normally enough. Ideas were exchanged, sketches drawn, and strategies debated. But as the hours ticked by, strange things began to happen. The touchscreen at the center of the table glitched, displaying cryptic symbols and words in a language none of them recognized. The lights flickered sporadically, plunging the room into darkness for brief but unnerving moments. The building's powerful central air system seemed to falter, leaving the room chillingly cold one moment and oppressively hot the next. Then there were the whispers. At first, they were faint, so faint that everyone thought they were imagining them. A distant murmur, like the sound of a conversation happening in another room. But as the night wore on, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. The voices were fragmented, overlapping, and impossible to pinpoint. "What is that?" one of the team members finally asked, breaking the tense silence. Elena forced a nervous laugh. "Probably just the HVAC system. These old buildings can be weird at night." But deep down, she didn't believe her own words. The whispers weren't the only unsettling thing. Documents on their shared drive began to rearrange themselves. Completed files vanished, replaced by blueprints and spreadsheets none of them had created. The timestamps on the files were wrong, listing dates from decades ago. "What the hell is this?" demanded Chris, the lead engineer, as he stared at the latest file. A detailed schematic of a machine that made no sense. It was intricate, impossibly advanced, and seemed to serve no practical purpose. "Did someone upload this by mistake?" asked Maria, the team's data analyst. "No," Elena said, her voice trembling. "This isn't from us." As they tried to make sense of the mysterious files, the glass walls surrounding the room caught their attention. Their reflections didn't match their movements. One by one, they noticed it. A gesture, a tilt of the head, a blink that didn't align with reality. Then the reflections stopped mirroring them altogether. Instead, the reflections began typing on invisible keyboards, gesturing to non-existent charts, and even turning to stare directly at the team. The glass rippled like water, distorting their faces into grotesque, inhuman forms. "Everyone out." "Now," Elena ordered, her voice trembling with fear. But the room had other plans. The door wouldn't budge. The control panel for the automated systems was dead. Phones lost signal. Even the building's emergency override failed, trapping them in what now felt like a cage. The whispers turned into screams, and the touchscreen table lit up with a blinding light. The machine schematic from the strange file appeared on the screen, and an automated voice intoned, "Design confirmed. Begin assembly." "What assembly?" Maria whispered. As if in response, the room's systems came alive. Robotic arms emerged from hidden compartments in the walls, piecing together parts that seemed to materialize out of thin air. The team watched in horror as the machine from the schematic took shape before their eyes. Elena's mind raced. She remembered the rumors, stories about a brilliant but unhinged programmer named Dr. Evelyn Cross. Years ago, Dr. Cross had been a rising star at Artec, obsessed with creating a perfect code that could bridge the physical and digital worlds. But something had gone horribly wrong. During a late-night experiment on the 33rd floor, Dr. Cross had locked herself in this very room, claiming she'd discovered a way to transcend. Hours later, a massive explosion rocked the building. Dr. Cross's body was never found. Some said her mind had fused with the code she'd written, becoming part of the system she'd created. Others dismissed it as nonsense. But now, staring at the machine assembling itself in the center of the room, Elena wasn't so sure. When the machine was complete, the lights dimmed and the glass walls turned pitch black. From the machine's core, a figure emerged, half human, half digital, its form flickering like a corrupted hologram. "You've brought me back," it said in a voice that layered over itself, one moment pleading, the next commanding. "Now finish what I started." Elena realized with growing horror that the entity had been guiding them all along, manipulating their brainstorming session to complete Dr. Cross's work. But the cost of doing so was unthinkable. The team scrambled to destroy the machine, but every attempt was met with resistance. The room itself seemed alive, fighting back with electrical surges, mechanical traps, and illusions that played on their deepest fears. Elena knew they had to confront the entity directly, but how do you fight something that exists beyond the physical world? As the night wore on, the team dwindled, their minds unraveling under the pressure of the room's relentless assault. Can Elena uncover the truth about Dr. Cross's experiment and find a way to banish the vengeful entity before it consumes them all? Or will she and her team become permanent prisoners of conference room infinity, their minds forever trapped in the code? Enter the room, if you dare. Unravel the mystery, but be warned, some secrets are meant to stay buried, and some ghosts refuse to rest